Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ultralord Show. With you forever, the Ultralord Show, your mother's favorite producer. Today we have quite a cool video we're gonna do. We're actually gonna discuss about compression and talk everything that we need to know about a compressor. So for you people at home, if you don't know what a compressor is, it's basically a plugin, or you can get it in rack or whatever, that handles the dynamics in your track. Now, dynamics, if you don't know, is the difference between the highest peak and the lowest peak in your song or on your track. So for instance, if something peaks at the highest peak, it could be probably, I don't know, minus 20 dB, and your lowest peak is probably minus 40 something, and you can use a compressor just to kind of average it out and compress it and get it to a usable level. Another thing that compressors can be used for is just to enhance the style or change the style of your track or your vocals or anything like that. It's quite cool to use. So I'm going to show you different kind of compressors that are available to you, especially in FL Studio. If you're using FL Studio, this will work well, but then there's millions kind of compressors. Look, I'm just going to open up the ones that comes bare bone. Like, here's the bare bone compressor, but I really don't like to use this FL 3D compressor because it's just doesn't give me enough visual information. So we're going to stick with the limiter and go into its compressor option. Okay, so one thing I hate about other tutorial videos when they talk about compression, they mostly talk about it in this weirder way where like it doesn't really show the true power, true capabilities of a compressor. All right, so let me just load up a drum hit. So I'm gonna hit up a snare that goes all right, let's put on 4 beats. C5. What is it now? So I'm gonna hit up a note that goes from one that's from very high and one that's slightly lower. Okay, there we go. So we got something like this. I'm gonna run this on channel 1 because that's what the compressor is. All right, so it runs in like that. Now you can see that we have a high peak at minus 9 dB and then the second peak at minus 26. So we're gonna try and compress this to kind of level out the average volume or the volume of the thing by reducing the high peak and increasing the lower peak. So let me just play this and put it on. Now, before we go into that, let me explain just a little bit of the controls of everything that you really need to know. You got basically the basic things that you really need to know is your ratio, threshold, attack, and release. Everything else is not really, you really don't really know that. You need to know what it is. Your ratio is the amount of compression that's going to happen when it passes your threshold. So for instance, right now, if you look on my top left corner, the compression ratio is 1:1. So meaning anything that's above the threshold is going to reduce it by 1 dB. So it's not going to do anything basically. So if you have a proper ratio that's a little bit higher, like for instance, 2:1, which is quite a normal amount of compression, is saying that whatever 1 dB that goes past the threshold, you must reduce it by 2 and bring it to 1 basically. So if it's basically halving it, then you get more aggressive styles where it's 3:1, 4:1, 5:1, and anything past 10 that's just limiting. So we're gonna just keep it simple at 2:1. Then your threshold is just basically telling it when the compression should start working, which is something that you hear for yourself when it starts. Your attack and your release is just the speed controls basically of how soon the compression should start or how late it should start and how soon or how late should it let go. Cool. Okay, cool. Now that you got the basic gist of it, let's just go straight into it and see what we can do. So let's play the sample and compress it. Okay, now as you can see, these lines on top of here is just showing how much compression is being done to this sample. So you can see the line is this is not distorting or anything, so it's quite good. But let me just increase the attack a little bit, like 1 millisecond. I think that should be a little too much, but roundabout 1 should be good. And then I'm going to bring down the release because I don't want it compressing the second thing a little too much. I'm going to bring it just down to like, I don't know, 26 milliseconds to see how it sounds like. So what's cool about this, it's like that attack is just giving it a little bit more like attack before the compression starts. So it's going to wait 1 millisecond and then start compressing. So this is quite a good level over here. Now here comes the magic of compression. We're going to increase the makeup gain now. So because we took out dBs, let's bring it back in to something a little bit comfortable. So I'm going to just switch this off and see where it was. Okay, it was at -9. So where does with the compression on? It's -15. So let's bring it back to -9. So -59. Let's just go till but it's a little bit too bright for me. So let me just decrease the attack a bit more. There we go. So now what you see now with the compressor, what it just did, it just brought these 2 notes closer. Now you would ask me, why don't I just go to the piano roll and just increase it there? Let's talk about when the compressor was actually made and why was it made for. Imagine you had to record something like drums, live drums, and you needed to handle some very high peak dynamics, or your vocals that you recorded, or a little bit like jumping up and down from dynamics and all that kind of stuff. It's just there to just smoothen everything out and tighten things a little bit more, so you can obviously get something more better sounding and stuff like that. So I highly recommend using it for mostly everything. Also cool about it, you can put a compressor on your mastering channel. You can put a compressor just about anywhere, just to handle the dynamics if there's a dynamic issue in your song. So that's what we would use to correct dynamic issues in the track. If you like more videos like this, please hit the like and subscribe button, and just comment in the section what else do you have problems with. You want to talk about EQs after this, you want to talk about reverbs, and etc, etc. Guys, I do have one favor to ask. I have music on the top of my channel in my artist section over here, and adverts are playing on in those videos. So please, if you just give it a quick watch, a thumbs up and a share, I'll greatly appreciate it. You don't have to. Just you watching is you've done more than enough, but it really helps the channel just to stay alive and stay afloat and everything like that. And if you can just share this content with your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that's what I have to say. Guys, have a good one, and I'll see you next time.
City's fucking with me in the shower like a quickie, drinking vodka, maybe whiskey. I got white girls like it's Britney. Shout out to my hometown. Got me proper like a noun, mixing uppers with them downs, mixing uppers with them downs. Yeah, why you getting mad when your bitch is on my phone? She be sucking cause she grown. Ultralord, I'm on my throne. You know this shit turns you on. It's expensive, great coupon. I'ma pull up with the squad. I'ma pull up with the squad. Hey.